Hey guys, what is up? It is Austin here, bringing you guys another episode of the Ray Talk Sports Podcast. I know it has been a while. I am truly sorry for that. Just honestly, I got super busy and I just didn't have that much time where I just wanted to record the podcast. Anytime I had free time, I either wanted to stream or, do something like that. I just didn't have time to record the podcast. And then, dude, it's just been a weird couple of weeks, but I'm so happy to be back and we're expanding a little bit. So if you notice, I'm wearing the Bucks shirt. We're going to be talking about some basketball a little bit today. So I want to be completely honest, just up front. I am not a basketball expert. When it comes to football, like I've been watching the NFL since I was like, a little kid. And I'm 25 years old. Basketball is something I got more akin to in my adult years. Like I think I really started watching basketball in like 2020, right? That was when I really got into basketball. And then, the Bucks were my favorite team at the time. And then, the following year I got to see them win a title. So I got really lucky. But Giannis has always been my favorite player. Even before I was really into the NBA, I saw Giannis highlights from like 2018, 2019, and I was just like, dude, this guy is my favorite player. I'm hitching my bandwagon to this guy forever. And then just so happens I started dating my girlfriend, and she's from Wisconsin, and now I live in Wisconsin. So I've been a Bucks fan since before I even lived here, dude. And I want to talk about them a little bit because it's been a fun start to the season. But first, we got to get the elephant out of the room before we talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk about the bad. Let's talk about my Cincinnati Bengals. So I was actually excited to do Ray Talk Sports last week, and then I missed it, obviously, and I pushed it back a week. But I was excited last week because we beat Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago. And if you guys know, I am a Bengals diehard fan. I hate Pittsburgh. It's the game I wanted us to win the most, and we did. We pull off this crazy upset. Joe Flacco goes insane. Jamar Chase goes insane. I'm like, okay, we're 3-4, and next week we got the 0-7 Jets at home, and then we get to play the struggling Bears. Like, we could be 5-4, dude. Like going into the bye week, Joe Burrow's ahead of schedule. So I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity. We go on a stretch here, our season is saved, And then the Jets game happens, and I was nervous going into it because Woody Johnson calls out Justin Fields, and I thought that was crazy. I thought it was disrespectful, and I thought it was soft for an owner to do that. Your quarterback is still playing. He is wearing the uniform. He is your starting quarterback. And you openly go out and diss him to the media? I thought it was ridiculous. Now, it had great results, but geez, like, what are you thinking? Could you imagine if, like Joe Burrow was having a bad season and Mike Brown came out and was like, yeah, if only Joe Burrow was playing better, we could win some games. You'd be like, dude, what the fuck are you thinking? Now, obviously, I'm not comparing Joe Burrow to Justin Fields, but it's the same principle. And Justin Fields, I just want to say this. I know you're not watching this, but good God, I love Justin Fields. I'm happy for him. I'm happy he had the game that he had. Like, he had one of his best games I've ever seen him play. I've been watching him since Ohio State. It was great. It was great. It sucks it had to happen against my Bengals, but I am happy for Justin Fields because, simply put, he balled. He balled out, But, the Bengals collapsed up 15 at the start of the fourth. You're up 14 with, I think, like 7 or 8 minutes left. And, again, everyone's on the fire Zach Taylor train, and I get it because when we lost that game, it was one of those losses that made me like actually angry watching football. Like for the rest of the day, and by the way, I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. I got laundry running, unavoidable. Still wanted to get this podcast out, but I was one of those people that when it came to like this game, I was already a little worried, and Zach Taylor, everyone wants to fire him, and honestly, when the game ended, obviously I was so angry. Everyone's thinking fire the coach. That's the first thing you think of when you have such a heartbreaking loss. But when I go back and I watch the game, I'm like, all right, the issue isn't the offense, which is Zach Taylor's specialty. Can you imagine how shitty we'd be if our offense sucked as bad as our defense? Like, yes, we have an all-time receiver and we have an all-time quarterback who's injured, but aside from that, the offense doesn't have great pieces. Along the offensive line, I really like Amarius Mims. I like Ted Karras. Other than that, you have question marks, right? I like Orlando Brown Jr., but he's had a couple bad moments. I think he'll recover from it, but you have a lot of question marks along that offensive line. And then at receivers, you have Jamar and you have T, and the drop-off after that. Andre Yoshivas has dropped so many passes. Honestly, we could have won the game against the Jets. He had a couple insanely bad drops, especially the week before against Pittsburgh. He had drops, and the week before that against Green Bay, he had drops. So why he's getting snaps over Mitchell Tinsley, I have no idea. I think what they should do is bench Yoshivas, replace him with Tinsley, or God, at the very least, if you're going to keep Jermaine Burton on the roster, give him a shot, But all that aside, obviously the major issue is the defense. The defense is ridiculously bad. The defense has never really recovered since we had Marvin Lewis. Marvin Lewis, after he left, I really think the front office just doesn't know how to spot defensive talent. For all the issues I have with Marvin Lewis, and I was making Facebook posts years ago, like, fire this motherfucker back in like 2017, 2018. And, as I've gotten older, the one thing I've realized, and I got to give respect to Marvin Lewis for, is that, he knew how to spot talent. He knew how to spot great defensive players in the draft. We always drafted well on defense during the Marvin Lewis era. Sure, there were some bad years where the defense wasn't good, like near the tail end, but in his prime, he was great at spotting defensive talent. And even like near the end of his career, he spotted some decent players in the draft. And I don't think the organization has ever recovered from that. I truly don't. And, even on defense, I don't even know if it's a personnel issue. Because a lot of these players are good players. DJ Turner is a good player. Jordan Battle is a good player. The issue, obviously, is the defensive line. They can't get any pressures. I think the stat last week was all the other pass rushers not named Trey Hendrickson combined for one pressure and one quarterback hit against the Jets. A team where the owner is openly dissing the quarterback, and the quarterback's gotten sacked like 7-8 times a game damn near. It just blows my fucking mind. It was painful. It was honestly painful because it was one of those games where I'm like sitting halfway through the fourth and I was starting to get worried, like I always do in every Bengals game. But I had faith. I just decided, you know what? My team's going to pull this out. The Bengals aren't going to lose to the fucking 0-7 Jets at home, up 14 in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes left. There's no fucking way. And they found a way to lose. It was amazing. It truly shocks me. So I had this conversation with Kara, but I'm kind of done watching the games. Like, as a Bengals fan, I'm kind of broken, like genuinely. And I know that sounds crazy and like sad to say, but I'm broken, man. Will I like check some stuff out during the Bears game? Maybe check some highlights and maybe like turn the game on my phone? Like maybe, yeah. Am I gonna sit in my living room and dedicate a whole afternoon and buy food and like, just tune everything out and just watch football for 4 hours and just watch the Bengals? No, I'm done. If you're not committed to, improving the team while you have a Hall of Fame, I shouldn't say Hall of Fame level, he's not there yet, but I'm saying like you could have that trajectory. Like he has the talent to be there. Joe Burrow's gotten the talent to bring a shitty team to a Super Bowl. We saw that. So like you have an all-time quarterback on your team who's setting NFL records, who had one of the best quarterback seasons of all time last year, and you're wasting it. And you're going to waste it and you're not going to care? Why the fuck am I going to care as a fan? Now, I will say there was this crazy-ass Reddit post recently. I don't think it's true, but if it is, it's pretty crazy, where some guy alleged that he tried to cancel his season tickets, and the front office was literally openly dissing him. Like, are you sure about that? Like, we're the front office that paid Jamar and T, blah, blah, blah. Do I believe that happened? No. Could it have happened? Maybe. And if it did, that's a damn shame. But I'm done talking about the Bengals. They found a new way to piss me off and disappoint me every week. But losing to an 0-7 team at home with a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter, that's a new low, man. That is terrible. Now, I do want to say the Packers made my day a little bit better because they ended up going on the road and beating this Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, which single-handedly saved the Bengals season because it kept that gap close. We're still just a game and a half out of first place, which blows my mind. So just keep winning. If they beat Chicago, right, and Pittsburgh goes on this losing streak, right, they could theoretically be in first place in 3 weeks. But again, do I have faith that that's going to happen? No, because, they had a long week to prepare for the Jets and they fucking crumbled. You think I think they're going to do any better going on the road in Pittsburgh after a bye week? Fuck no. But there's a chance, right? But the Packers, anyway, it was a beautiful game to watch. Again, it sucked because I was still angry about what had happened prior. Like, I was still genuinely angry about the Bengals game. And it hurt to watch football. But it was fun in the second half, seeing Jordan Love dice up the Steelers secondary, going for 20 straight completions. It was fun seeing Tucker Kraft literally bully the Pittsburgh defense. It was fun seeing Micah Parsons do whatever the fuck he wanted to that Pittsburgh offensive line. There was a lot of fun to be had with that game. And Tucker Kraft, man, he's entering those like top 5, maybe top 3 tight end conversations. Because for me, I think the best tight end in the league is George Kittle. I think the second best tight end in the league is a toss-up. You could have Brock Bowers, or I think you could have Trey McBride. I think those are like the next 3. 4 is like Tucker Kraft area. Now, Tyler Warren, that projection and that trajectory he's on, he could be 4 as well. But I think Kraft has number 4 right now. Kraft is just so good. He's so physical, and I think that one of his best strengths is his run after the catch. usually tight ends, they're not known for running after the catch unless you have someone, mythical like Tony Gonzalez or Travis Kelce, But I mean, Tucker Kraft, he's almost like he's got the strength and size almost of like a smaller offensive lineman, but he's got the speed and finesse of a really athletic tight end like a Kyle Pitts. It's a beautiful thing to see. And he's just carrying defenders down the field. And I think Tucker Kraft deserves some of that top end recognition. But sticking with the Wisconsin sports, the Bucks are off to a 3-1 start, and they are so fun to watch. Giannis, how he's not number one in MVP voting yet blows my mind. I know we're only a couple like games into the season, but damn, he's not even in top 3 MVP odds. What the fuck does SGA have over Giannis right now? Giannis just dropping 35, 37, 37, 40-point games all back-to-back. He hasn't had a game this year where he scored under like 35. And he's got I think he had like 7 or 8 assists the other night too. He's averaging 1.2 blocks a game. And his shooting percentage, I think he just shot from 72% true shooting percentage the other night. Like, Giannis is amazing. And he's doing it against good teams. He went and played the Knicks. He's not just beating up on the small teams. Because when we beat, I believe it was the Wizards in our first game of the season, everyone's like, yeah, it's the fucking Wizards. Who cares that Giannis goes off? And then Giannis continues going off against good teams. Almost beats Cleveland. Drops an insane game against Cleveland. Beats the Knicks, and then we also beat someone else for our second game of the year. I can't remember who it was, but I mean the Bucks look nice, man, and Giannis looks amazing. He looks like he's at the peak of his powers yet again. He looks like he should be the MVP so far, and if he can single-handedly carry this team to the playoffs, you can't count the Bucks out against anyone. I know they've had a couple first-round exits in recent years, but the Bucks, I mean, Giannis always has them in contention, and after what I saw what he did in that 2020 run, NBA Finals run, I mean, he was amazing. I watched Giannis down 2-0 against the Brooklyn Nets with Kevin Durant come back down 2-0 and win Game 7 in Brooklyn. I watched him in the finals down 2-0 against Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and the Suns come back and win that series. So I will never count out the Bucks as long as Giannis is healthy. That's never happening. It's other players on the team have looked better too. Ryan Rollins had a really good game. I know there's been a lot of shit talking from Pacers fans about Miles Turner because he's not having like a crazy great year. He's not a great scorer. And they're like, he's the reason we lost the finals last year. Which, it makes sense that, a franchise that aren't champions, they don't know how to win. They obviously just blame their players instead of blaming themselves. But, I just thought it was funny. But, Miles Turner is a plus-minus on the floor right now. We're happy to have him in Milwaukee. Indiana, you want to keep talking shit about him? We're happy to have him. We're happy to have him. He plays good defense, and he's a plus-minus on the court right now, which is what we needed so badly. And A.J. Green, not the Bengals legend, obviously. Of course, we love him. But A.J. Green on the Bucks, he shoots amazingly from 3 usually. He has a couple off nights, but he's starting to heat it up. The team is just looking better and better, and I'm really excited to see what they do this season. So, who knows? Are we going to be the top seed in the East? Probably not. But can we be a top 3 seed? It's looking like it. I mean, as long as we can win these Eastern Conference games, I have no doubts, about the Bucks this year. But moving on, we're going to get into our Week 9 NFL predictions. I didn't do Week 8. Again, I just totally missed on them. But we're going to just kind of shoot through these for the first game of the week. We got the Ravens at the Dolphins. I'm going to take the Ravens in this one, simply put, because Lamar is healthy. Now, I know Tua just came off a game throwing for 4 touchdowns. Do I think he can do that again? It's possible against the Ravens defense. I won't rule that out. But Lamar's coming back, and the Ravens are riding some momentum. They got a huge win against the Bears last week. I truly thought that game saved their season. So they can move up to 3-5, and don't look now. They'd be tied with the Bengals for second place in the division if they win. So give me the Ravens to win on the road. Next, we have 49ers at Giants. Simply put, I'm going to take the Niners. I don't even know if Purdy's healthy, but I just trust the Niners to win with, what they have, even if they don't have much. The Giants are a dumpster fire. They always are. And unfortunately, all their players are getting injured. So it's Jackson Dart versus the world. I'm going to take the world in that situation. Chargers at Titans. Don't got to think much about this one. The Titans are they're hard to watch. And I feel bad for my buddy Devin, who I work with, because he's a diehard Titans fan. And he was really excited about this year, but it's rough, man. It's rough for the Chargers right now, or the Titans right now. But give me the Chargers to win. Next, we got Vikings at Lions. I'm just going to take the Lions. I know some people are predicting the Vikings to pull off an upset. I think J.J. McCarthy's playing, which, by the way, quick side note, what they did to Carson Wentz is just putrid. That man played with a torn labrum, and was it like a dislocation as well? For 3 fucking weeks, dude, and he was toughing it out. And he had people on the broadcast, I think it was Kirk Herbstreit, that was like bitching about how Carson Wentz was like upset and angry. He was visibly in pain. He's throwing his helmet. They're like, as a veteran quarterback, you can't show your emotion like that. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. He's playing with a torn labrum. Like, god damn. It blows my mind when these announcers talk about shit they don't know about. They didn't know Carson was playing injured, and they're making comments about how he can't control his emotions and shit. Like, what the fuck are we doing, dude? That like really upset me. Credit to Carson Wentz for playing through the injury, but goddamn, man, I think his career is probably over, and it sucks that it had to end this way because I remember Prime Wentz in Philadelphia. I have a Wentz Philly jersey because he was that much fun to watch. But yeah, give me the Lions to beat the Vikings. I just, oof. The Vikings are probably one of my least favorite teams after that news came out. But now we got Falcons at Patriots. Give me the Patriots. The Falcons just got blown out by the Dolphins. I have no faith in them. You can never just count on what you're going to get from them. It's ridiculous. But give me the Patriots at home. Colts at Steelers. This is probably the game of the week. I'm going with the upset and picking the Steelers. They're reeling. It's hard to pick against Aaron Rodgers. I know he won 4 games last year. But with a good organization, I don't know if he's going to lose this one against the Colts, but we'll see. But I'm going to take the Steelers at home. Broncos at Texans. I got the Broncos. Texans offense, hard to watch. I love CJ, but hard to watch. Bears at Bengals. You all know me. I pick Cincinnati no matter what, no matter how many times they break my heart. Joe Flacco might not play, and it's painful. But Bears at Bengals. Give me the Bengals at home to win. I don't know how, but we're going to do it. Totally. Panthers at Packers. Give me the Packers at home. I do not have any faith in the Panthers right now. I think Bryce Young's I think he's actually going to come back and start. Good for them. Andy Dalton, I love you, but you were atrocious, dude. Just atrocious. But I'm still picking the Packers at home to win that game. Next, we have Saints at Rams. Give me the Rams. I think they're starting Tyler Shuck. I think it's his first game starting. I don't know if that's the move. I think Spencer Rattler was not the problem with the Saints. I know he just came off a horrible game, but the Saints are a horrible team. So, it's hard, But I'm going to take the Rams at home. Jaguars at Raiders. Give me the Jags. Again, the Raiders. They're the most disappointing team in the league. I had so much faith after week 1. I was like, damn, Geno threw for 400 yards. They have a good quarterback now. They got Ashton Genty, and then they got fucking Pete Carroll as the head coach. They're going to be great. They've been anything but. They've been extremely disappointing. Next, we got Chiefs at Bills. This is the game of the week. I'm going to stick with the pick I made in my money picks, where we just pick between our friends, and then we just put $10 in a pot from 3 of us, winner take all. I don't know why I said friends. That was my girlfriend or dad. But Chiefs at Bills. Give me the Chiefs. I just have faith in them in these big games. Again, it's a regular season game, so the Bills will probably win. But, in the high leverage moments, Patrick Mahomes always outshines Josh Allen. And Josh Allen really has not been that amazing this year. I think the MVP for that team has been James Cook, not Josh Allen. But moving on, we got Seahawks at Commanders. Give me the Seahawks. I don't know if Jane Daniels is playing, but even if he is, I just trust the Seahawks more. Sam Darnold's balling out. JSN is an amazing receiver. And the defense for the Seahawks, letting go of Mike McDonald was the worst decision the Ravens ever made, in my opinion. I mean, the Seahawks are just they're a team that you have to respect. They can win any game. But give me them in this game over the Commanders on the road. And then last game of the week, Monday Night Football. Looks like we actually only have one Monday night game this week. Thank God. But Cardinals at Cowboys. Give me the Cowboys at home. I have no doubt the Cardinals will be able to put up points, especially with Trey McBride just balling out the way that he is. I don't know if Kyler's going to play, but honestly, Jacoby Brissett should start. He's been the best quarterback they've had this year. And I was a Kyler believer early on in the podcast. But give me the Cowboys to win that game at home. So final thoughts from the past week I just want to go over. Giannis, in my opinion, is the best basketball player in the world. Hold off on those Wemby talks. Wemby is amazing. Wemby has Hall of Fame trajectory. He's got best player of all time trajectory. I do not deny that. Right now, it is Giannis. No one is better in the league than Giannis right now. Let's cut that shit out. The Bengals disappoint me as always. The Packers look like they're starting to get their groove and they're going on a run. Jordan Love just had an amazing game. And I'm excited to see what they have next. So that's all I got for this week. I know we didn't go super in depth, but I just wanted to get an episode out after missing, last week. It's fun to be back. I didn't want to abandon this podcast because I have fun doing it. It's a lot of fun. But thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like hearing me talk about other stuff more than just football, you like to hear me talk about the NBA and Giannis. I was even debating on doing a little MLB talk with that fucking 18-inning game I ended up watching the other night of the World Series. It was pretty intense, but that's really all I got for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all the support on the series. Look for longer podcasts in the future to come out when I actually record them on days that I have the time to. But I decided to record this on a day that I have work. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all of you for stopping in. If you enjoyed, let me know down in the comment section below, and give me some of your crazy NFL or NBA hot takes down in the comment section so I can react to them on the next episode. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. This is Austin, and I'm out. Peace, guys.